time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure, so let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Spot Shooters Archery,
Easy Cut,
Packer Max,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Scent Lock,
Scent Blocker,
Lim Walker Game Calls,
Buck Baits,
Gut Check,
Stanislawski Release Aids,
Copper John,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Vapor Hunting Products,
and Rebel 6 Rubs. And don't forget you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com.
Hey, welcome back. We're going to cut our show right down here this week, right here on the ATA floor 2020. We're in Indianapolis, Indiana. Dan DeFaw against Sequuna. It's been a wild week.
It has.
It's been...
we're wrapping it up finally.
The ATA, what we call the ATA grind, but it's been a fun-filled week. A lot of cool things, a lot of stuff going on. You know, Danny and I got down here a day early. We saw a few more odds and ends, and we got some great interviews that are going to be coming to you. So you just got to stay tuned as the shows progress throughout the week, and we'll drop those.
I tell you what, it started off, we got here down here on Wednesday. It started off Thursday morning. PSC had two major announcements coming right out of the gate. Then they had the announcement in the afternoon. And ever since then, we're not going to lie. And we're not going to, we're with PSC, but the buzz has been around this trailer and shooting lanes.
Absolutely. It's been packed over here. Things are kind of winding down now. You can still see they're still taking care of things back here and behind us. But this place was packed on Thursday and on Friday. Even this morning, first thing, you know, we're getting ready to leave and head home right now. Things are winding down. There's only a couple hours left in the show. But Ken, you came down.
Yep.
This is your first ATA. You know, you're new with us this year. Just briefly, if you could give me one word that describes your experience here, what was it?
One word?
Yeah. Is that possible?
No.
Okay, give it to us in a couple.
I can do 2 words.
Okay.
Eye-opener.
Eye-opener?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. In what way?
Well, I would just say this, and I kind of talked to you guys about it before, is anybody looking, you know, I didn't know the business side of this at
Right.
all. And I think anyone looking to get into the outdoor industry in any way, whether that's a podcast, a TV show, anything, you need to come to the show and check it out because you really don't understand what goes on behind the scenes and it really is a small group.
Right.
It's not as big an industry as you think, and this is a business show.
Right.
And there's a lot that goes into this that I think, especially guys like me, you do not know.
Right.
Until you're here.
Right.
And I tell you what, and you alluded to the fact that it's a small show.
Right.
Trust me, you're out and about out here. If you do something down in this corner, it wouldn't take long for whatever you did to end up
down in that corner.
In the other corner of what you did. Whether,
Yep.
whether you stubbed your toe and by the time you got to the other side you broke your leg.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
right. So with that being said, how did you like the kind of the pace? You've only been here a day and a half. You definitely got the grind of it.
Yes. I wish I would have been in better physical condition. I felt terrible yesterday. I mean, by 3 or 4 o'clock, my feet, my legs, my hips, everything was sore. Too young to feel like that. So that was another eye opener. But it's a lot to cover everything and to really look at everything comprehensively. It's just it's a big task, and there's a lot to see.
If you were to walk every aisle here and check out every booth, I mean, and really just take a couple seconds, stop, look, see what they've got to offer. And you're not going to talk to every vendor, but you know you're talking to them along the way. Oh, we're good.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Edit.
I just
Thanks,
see red.
Danny. Thanks, Danny.
I see red. So.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good.
All right,
we're good. I cut Danny's mic off all the time, so he's really worried when he sees red up here that we're not rolling audio.
I'm telling you, that's what it happens. You'll see the interviews how Bobby treats me.
Well, you know, it's the secondary camera I got the audio turned off. So
thank you. Okay,
so.
That's what I wanted to
hear.
hear.
All right. Okay. So, but if you're walking through and you're talking to every vendor along the way, or not every vendor, but you know what you like to see. You know, you got some questions about something. It would really take you 2 full days, maybe part of that third day.
Easy.
You know. you can walk the floor in one day, but to really get the sense of what's going on here and spend time and enjoy it and see what they've got, it takes some time.
Yeah.
I don't know how many booths they got here, but this place is huge.
I tell you what, and then when you're walking, okay, not gonna lie, it's carpeted, but there's cement underneath. So if you're not prepared to walk it,
It's always a relief when you walk into a big booth and they got that padded carpet.
feels good on the
Feels
feet.
great.
Yeah, and that's what we got here right underneath our feet here at the PSE trailer. So,
Absolutely.
but, walking. Other than that, anything else really surprised you about what you saw when you came in? Like that, when you walked through that door for the first time and you got to see, okay, and we go, this is right here where we're at. This is half.
Right.
And then you see another. What's kind of going through your mind? Because we turned you loose by yourself.
Yeah, just the first thing, the vast scale of this place. I think it goes without saying. We've touched on it already, but just the sheer size, the sheer amount of vendors that are here. I'm so used to outdoor ramming and the fishing shows where you're packed in there like sardines, and people were more accessible. Obviously people you want to talk to, they're caught up in conversation, but for the most part, you can usually find someone to talk to. There's plenty of room to wander around. I mean, these setups are huge, but I would say just the vastness of it all.
Okay.
Vast.
Well, and the one thing, and Danny and I alluded to this later, but you got a chance to shoot some of the PSE product here. I think you shot the Warhammer. Yep. The crossbow. Spending time over on the shooting lanes and shooting. Talk a little bit about that and what you felt.
Yeah. That's my first time shooting a real compact crossbow like that, and it felt great.
Yeah.
It felt great. I mean, this new stuff, I'm so used to shooting old stuff until this year, shooting the Decree, but to pick up a crossbow like that and just to be able to take it with one hand and be able to do that with it without really any strain, and the trigger, like you said, it's like glass. I mean, it just, boom, it's there.
Right.
I just was really impressed with that. Holding the knock-on Nation carbon bows. I mean, when Danny had me, hold the heavy one and then hold. I mean, I can't stress it enough. You have to put it in your hands to experience it.
I wish I had the camera and it was rolling on that, because you're usually. The look on your face was priceless. That weight difference between the two. It
was pretty cool. I mean, I really like that bow. A lot.
And that's the thing about one of these shows is you got the retailers, the buyers in here, and you got the media personnel, which gives us a hands-on approach. But it's nice to be able to go and try out the product kind of before it hits the floor. Like the Warhammer isn't going to be out for a couple more months. And so what you got to do is you got to feel it. So if somebody says, hey, wow, I saw this, is it kind of cool? And you can say, it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to hold, see, shoot things that everybody else across the nation is not going to get their hands on for probably a couple more months.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the exclusive reveal of some things here as well.
Yeah.
So, being here and seeing that, so we can come back and talk about those things and share them with you. And talking about some of those things, walking the floor, I mean, both days you kept coming back and go, hey guys, did you see this or did you see that? I know you're really into saddle hunting. That's one thing that you're passionate about, and it's something that I'm interested in. I've not got that passion for it just yet.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably coming. But talk about, you went over to what company?
Tethered.
Okay.
Went to the Tethered booth. I know a couple guys with Tethered. I spent a lot of time in the booth this morning. Got to try on their new saddle, the Phantom. Blown away, of course. I mean, all this gear just keeps getting better and better, right?
Right.
And saddle hunting is no different. They're on the absolute cutting edge. Some of the stuff that they got going on is so exciting, as far as just being between the light bows and the light saddles and the light sticks, and it's for the mobile hunter, and not even the mobile hunter, just the everyday hunter. It's just nice not to have to carry so much heavy weight.
Right.
I mean, so I was really excited what I seen in the Tethered booth.
So you actually got into one of the new saddles.
Yeah, I jumped in the saddle, jumped on the pole, stood on their platform, the Predator, and swung around. I'm a bigger guy, and I was a little worried because the saddle, up to size 40. Well, I'm 44, but I fit in it.
Okay.
So it was great, super comfortable. The back support was there. I don't. It's so much lighter than the saddle I'm wearing now.
Okay.
I mean, it's unreal. I mean, you could roll this thing up, put it in your back pocket. You got your tree stand in your back pocket. It's that compact.
simple.
You got your tree stand in your back pocket.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and that just goes to show that's something you see here that it'll take a little bit before it gets out to the general public.
Yeah.
You'll probably see it at...
They can pre-order it, but yeah, and it's going to sell out fast too.
Okay.
On top of that,
You know, it'll probably be at Outdoorama, maybe in Michigan. We don't know until we get to the show.
They were there last year, but who knows this year?
Right.
Well, looking at another product you were looking at a pole for a trail camera that actually you can get access to in a tree, because you're one of those guys that likes to put those cameras up and aim them down to keep from spooking game.
Yeah, spooking game, keeping from trespassers or whoever stealing them. And this was a great little gadget, huge pole, private land only because you got to screw into the tree. Okay,
right.
But you could hang it up to 12 foot. I think it was like 12, 13 foot above your head, and it's nice the way so you use the pole, put the mount in the tree, take the pole out. Now you've got the camera in the bracket, and then you pop your camera in there, and it's on the perfect angle every single time. So you know you're going to get your pictures on top of that.
There you go.
It's completely hidden. So.
And then, like you said, we talked about, instead of having the trail camera low, hip height or whatever it is, deer height actually, really.
Yeah.
And this gives you that added advantage. Basically, you're carrying your pack of camera and your pole, and it gives you that, however tall that is, 6 to 8 feet in the air, a different view of the deer coming in. So when you look at a buck, it gives you a different perspective as to, when they're coming straight on, you look at it, you see the symmetry.
Yeah.
But this gives you a down view.
Exactly, and I don't necessarily know that I need to hang a trail camera 12 foot in the air, okay? But I do like to have them 6 to 8 feet in the air, and like you said, it is a different view, And especially if you did 12 feet in the air, you would get that, kind of dome view of it, so that can really help with buck identification, everything.
And something like that, instead of carrying a 4-foot ladder with you out into the woods to get up there, you're carrying an aluminum pole, probably, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely see that as a hit.
Yeah, I really want it, so.
So you know what? Keep your eyes open. We'll check it out.
Yeah.
And speaking of trail cameras, you had your eye on a trail camera.
Yeah, so I was in the Spy. I spent a lot of time in the Spy Point booth yesterday talking. Those guys are actually really nice. Took the time, talked to me, and I looked at all. And great price point. They have a new gadget out that will turn any camera that's not a wireless camera into a wireless camera.
Okay.
Basically, you just hang this little gadget above your camera, and boom, you've got a wireless camera. It's synced. I do believe there's a cord that goes between the two, and boom, there you go. That's a really great idea.
Did you happen to by chance hear how much that cost?
I believe it was $59.
So $59, because there's other cell phone cameras that are out, and like one of them I think we saw was just over $200 for the camera, cell phone camera itself. And you got people out there that have been buying cameras for a while, and if they're compatible, $60 gets you a cellular service.
Yeah, you just turn it into a cell cam, and. Because, I like the idea of having a fleet of cameras, trying to keep everything the same, but hey, in the meantime, for $59.
I tell you what, if you can, especially if you've got really good cell service and you can sit there at home and all of a sudden you get a notification that you're getting a text and all of a sudden this nice big buck shows up. How easy to talk about instantaneous, right?
Man, yeah, and the whole idea of not going into your property too, and just staying out of there. I mean,
minimal time in the field. Maybe go in, maybe change out some batteries or something like that.
What an exciting time! With all these, I get so pumped just thinking about it. With all these trail cameras and box scrapes, there's all these great ways to up, stack the odds in your favor now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we kind of got your take on the show. We're going to take a step outside real quick, take a break. When we come back, we'll get Danny's take on some of the things he saw and what kind of got him jazzed up here, so to speak, for the upcoming season. So we're going to step outside. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
You through playing around?
I am now, sir.
The people here, what do you got? You got a mitten.
Well,
we're from the mitten, by the way.
Actually, being from, well, if I do this. But.
What do you got?
Okay. So we're back from break. And last segment we talked to Ken, how he liked the show. I was able to get out and
cruise the floor a little bit. First thing I want to say is a
really cool thing. Check out the video we're going to have with Young Guns Archery.
Absolutely.
Talk about getting the youth, ladies, or anybody that needs a smaller poundage bow, or maybe a handicapped person or something maybe physically wrong that needs a lower poundage bow. But they have a trailer, and they go to shoots mostly. And they get people involved, and they help them
get a bow selected.
So, talk about Pete Shepley's vision. We talked to him last year about getting people just out in the archery world.
Absolutely, and that's kind of been a buzz all weekend here at the show. At least the people we've talked to is that seems to be a commonality or a goal that everybody's trying to achieve and get their business involved in and wrapped around.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things you see around here. You see, I'll go with the older generation that's here, but then you see the younger generation, and you see the kids that are involved. But we need more.
Absolutely,
we need to get more people involved, picking up a bow, whether it's a target bow, hunting bow, or just a fun bow,
or a crossbow,
and the Warhammer just came out.
You like that, don't you?
Dude, that thing is...
We had to stop him. He when he saw it, he took off running with it over to the range. I'm like, whoa, okay, come back here, man.
I tell you what.
He was excited about it.
I was.
You're kind of a resident crossbow guy.
I am the crossbow guy, and I love that thing. And as technology takes us down the path of bringing everything, as Bobby says, shorter and compact. Thanks, Bobby. This thing just is an engineering marvel of they gave the engineers a task, said come up with this, and they did. The Magpul stock, the trigger itself, the scope, the narrowness of going from 10 to 6,
compact.
From that, moving on down, I went down over to G5. They've got a broadhead out over there that looked really kind of cool. We're going to talk to Brian over at G5 more about that. Maybe try to get him on the show.
Okay.
But yeah, walking around, I think the other thing is these trail cameras that the cellular service, that one with Ken coming up that can make any camera, that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Still, with me in the UP, I'm still going to probably have that reception problem.
And that's kind of where I'm at with the place I hunt in the northeastern Lower Peninsula. We battle that constantly up there. I mean, there's places my cell phone works so I can get good reception. I walk 100 yards, and whether it's down in a ravine or some other part or wood canopy cover, then I lose signal. So, we're on that fringe, and you know me, I love Browning cameras, and they've actually got a new still camera out. And I really didn't get to look it over that closely here. They were busy down there, so I didn't get to talk one-on-one with them, but that's something I'm hopefully going to be able to talk to somebody at some point here throughout this spring maybe, and consider that as an option for our place up north. So
absolutely. And then Total Peep, a new it's a peep that's been out for a few years. Pedro Ampero told us about it, and we went and over visited them. Kind of cool how when you turn it and you look in the light and there is no shadows, there is no glare. The material that they use is really cool.
Yep.
That's another little item. I see some tall grass over there. That it's that screen.
Miscanthus.
Yeah, and that's a cool feature, but that takes work.
Yeah.
And,
that stuff's tall.
It is. It is tall. So walking around, it's kind of the neat factors to see different things. One of the things you're going to see definitely with us in Up North Journal is going to be more of this right here. Better the Hunt. They're a mitt company, and like you said, you really could have used this
elk season.
Yeah. This one here goes on the bow. They've got one for bow, crossbow, rifle, and shotgun. So we've partnered up with them as of this show.
And we're going to talk a lot more about that coming up and about exactly what it is, because it's more than just a mitt.
It's more than just a mitt, exactly. So actually this is kind of really cool because you can really get in there and you can really, this is for the bow. So other than that, I think it's been a good show. It's been not crazy busy, but if we start to get more people involved outside of here, get them into the dealers and bring up their sales, there'll be more people here.
Absolutely. So that was your eye catchers?
Yep, that was my eye catchers. I'm always excited to be here. So.
Well, for me, the one thing coming down that I really wanted to get my hands on, try, look, feel, it's that you got a test drive factor for me was the Infused by Oz. That was the one thing I really wanted to look at. They teased us with it.
Yeah, they did tease us
with a couple promos, and we knew some things coming in, but we really didn't have a really strong idea of how big, how it was going to totally work and all that. And we actually got that, and we got an interview coming about that. But it's basically incorporating ozone into water and using it to kill scent and to take care of bacteria that causes odor.
I tell you what, it's neat that you can take basically just tap water, put it in there, hit a button, right?
Right.
And 90 seconds later, you have 99.9%
effectiveness.
Effectiveness.
It's field spray, it's disinfectant, it covers so many different applications that we're just starting to wrap our head around. So that's one thing that we're going to be dropping a video on that here coming up, here in the next week or two, that you'll be able to see exactly what we're talking about and see when this comes out. It'll be something you're like, man, that's pretty cool. I want to get my hands on that.
Yeah, take, I do a lot of fishing. Fishy hands, people that clean a lot of fish. I think it's going to serve great for getting rid of odors.
Yeah, it's not just for the hunter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's what we're going to find out, that thing is going to have so many applications. It's going to be endless.
From hunting to home use to fishing, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a 365 possibility of using it. So when that comes out later in the summer.
Yeah, sometime mid to late summer.
Really cool to see that. So
and the other thing that you talked about the crossbow, we got, and you'll see this on the video that we bring to you as well. But they brought the Evo back, the Evo line here at PSE, and we shot the Evo NXT 33. It's 33X axle, and we always say it. Wow, it really is wow. It was one of the things when I shot and he shot, we both turned to look at each other like, this is incredible.
It is. It's dead in the hand. It's one of those things.
It's dead in the hand. It's quiet. It's simply amazing that we keep making leaps and bounds continually, and things just keep getting better and better. And we alluded to that in the video. You just have to check that out as well. But it's a bow that you're going to need to get out, get to your pro shop, and put it in your hands. But I guess that bow. We also shot the Super Focus, the new target bow that came out. And that's something we're going to be really looking at hard this year as well, since we just got started into archery. Anything, or target archery, anything that can make us hold better and get into the X, it's...
You know what, and having Dan there with us, going through the bows with us and what we did, and having him explain why the focus, when you release, kind of jumps back at you. As opposed to the hunting bow didn't, right?
Yeah.
So having him explain that to us, because we're new in target archery.
Yeah, having a deflex riser and what that all meant.
We're not going to lie, we don't know everything, and Dan's teaching us as we go. So stuff like that. Anything else? Did you see anything that caught your eye? You said the infused. Was there anything else that was grabbing you?
I didn't get to walk the floor a lot. I spent a lot of time here. I mean, obviously, we've got the setup here in the booth. You know, on the technical side, I was kind of running this stuff in the background and working a lot on videos. So I didn't spend a lot of time on the floor. So yeah, those are the things that really
grabbed you?
That really grabbed me. Yeah, it kind of caught my eye. Was those couple things. I wish I'd have got to spend more time out there on the floor, but I had a lot of fun here, man.
Absolutely. And one thing we did, there was some live drops. PSE announcing Pigman is coming onto the staff. You know,
huge.
Pigman himself, John Dudley. We talked to Tim Andrews, Pedro D'Amporo, Donnie Vincent. We're all on the same team.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll dive into those interviews just a little bit here.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away. But
No. I just want to. Yep.
Yeah, we'll dive into it a little bit because there were some commonalities and some themes that were running through. It's been running through the industry here for a while. So I tell you what, we're going to step outside. We'll take our next break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about the people we actually talked to here in the booth. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Third segment of the show. Kind of wrapping things up here. The end is drawing near quickly. Kind of the same way the show started for us, very quickly. I mean, we walked in Thursday morning, and the show opened at 8:30. 8:30, they had the announcement on the Warhammer right away. That was the big announcement. Then at 9:30, they introduced that Pigman, Brian Quacca, was coming.
John Dudley was at 9 o'clock.
John Dudley was at 9?
Yep, and then...
That's right. Okay, John Dudley.
1 o'clock was the Pigman.
The Pigman was at 1 o'clock. And then after that, we got a chance to sit down and talk with Donnie Vincent, Pedro D'Amporo, Tim Andrus from Rush Outdoors, all PSE, Team PSE guys. But sitting down and talking, first one was Brian Quacca, Pigman, that we interviewed. Wow.
Kind of.
He's on 10. He's on high all the time, isn't he? He's cranked all the way up.
If there's 9 speeds, he's on 10.
Yep.
I mean, he is full bore forward.
Yep.
The fastest speed. I mean, the guy has got energy. Well, wait, he's with Monster Energy, so I guess he does have speed.
Okay, so that's where I want. We alluded to this coming into this segment. I think that is something very important that this industry is going to start to take shape. As far as I know, he's probably the first guy to do this, and he talked about it. You'll see it in our interview. We're only going to tip off a little bit, but it's about going out, getting these companies that aren't necessarily in the hunting community or the target archery community,
right,
and pulling them in and bringing them in. And in this case, it's Monster Energy drinks, pulling them in and saying, okay, PSE and Monster Energy.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They went and created a bow with, Monster Energy. And he did a fantastic job, who he gave that to, but that'll be in the interview. But it's just that not only is it, I want to say cross promotion, but it's cross boundaries of your typical, I think Monster, they actually call him an athlete. Right. So he's not your typical race car driver, motorcycle guy. He's a hunter, and he's sponsored by Monster Energy from his boots to his hat. But I tell you what, stay tuned for that interview because, like you said, he's on 10.
He is amped up. That's all I can tell you.
Literally, he is go.
Yeah, he's on go the full time. But I tell you what, in the interview, there was a point when we got to see a little different side that it runs along with the theme of what Pete Shepley has here about giving back to the kids and getting kids involved. He has a real passion for veterans and a real passion for getting youth involved into the outdoors, and that I think that really came through strongly in the interview, and you'll be able to see that as well. But yeah, we want to thank Pigman for sitting down and taking some time with us in the booth.
Absolutely, and again, focus this year was team oriented. Everybody that they announced sat down with us, took the time to sit with us, talk to us. Guys that have been on the team, Pedro and Tim and Donnie Vincent, sat down with us yesterday. First day was John Dudley, who was
that was incredible. Being able to talk to a man with so much knowledge about archery and basically him working hand in hand, one-on-one with the factory and developing some things that you're going to see coming out that's just going to be simply incredible.
And for those people out there that think all these, we'll call them celebs, chase money, you might want to listen to that interview because
it's going to change your mind.
It's not true. It's one of the things he honestly said. Actually, sitting down with the owner of the company started it, and like I said, interview will tell you what he did.
Yeah, it was really cool talking with him, learning more about Knock On Nation, that partnership with PSE now. And the other thing, the recurring theme that I alluded to going into the last break was the physical fitness side of hunting. Danny, we've talked a lot about it, obviously, in the last year and a half, almost year and a half now, of working out and how it's changed our lives. But that was a theme that John Dudley talked about.
It started with John Dudley.
It started with John, and then when we interviewed Donnie Vincent the next day, that was the main theme of that interview. I mean, you guys have seen the videos, you've seen the things that man does. He goes, I call it extreme hunting because he is climbing mountains to chase sheep, to chase whatever game species he's after. He goes to the harshest climates and environments possible.
And Pedro D'Amparo is right there with him. And watching those two guys in the booth talk was kind of, you wondered if you put those two guys together who would make it to the top of the mountain first, right?
Absolutely. Both of these guys, extreme challenge hunting, and yeah, they're climbing mountains.
I feel sorry for the cameraman.
I would not want to be the cameraman chasing those guys.
I mean, we check out the Pedro D'Amparo interview. We talked to him about selecting a cameraman.
Right.
And that was kind of, it's just basically, hey, that's the way it is. We got to keep up and film.
With those three gentlemen, the last three we just talked about, the one thing, the commonality of what we started discussing about fitness and about getting into the outdoors and making it easier, they said all three of them said this, and it really kind of grabbed me, was you don't set a goal of like, I want to run a marathon or a triathlon, or I want to go on an elk hunt in Colorado in the Rockies, and then start training for it. Their whole thing was to take and train to better yourself for living and live your life to the fullest. And then when you do that and you reach that fitness level, it makes everything else you do so much easier, and that it makes it more fun, and you're able to enjoy more of it.
I think it was Donnie that said treat your body as the vehicle.
Yeah, it was the vehicle.
Not the vehicle outside, but those are all gone. Any method except your body. Make that your vehicle, and if you need to walk, run, or do whatever you need to do, that's the way it is.
And Pedro, he mentioned the fact of enjoying the pain. He said once you get, because honestly, the first month or two is going to suck.
Yeah, not
There's
gonna
no
lie,
other way to
that
put it. It's going to break you.
Yep.
And that's the reshaping. And all of a sudden, after you get in 6 months, maybe 9, and then we get to that year mark, all of a sudden you enjoy that pain. It's not such a pain like it was to begin with, but it's like when you miss a day at the gym, you're like, man, I missed a day at the gym. I gotta go. I gotta get there. So it's not I stubbed my toe. I don't want to go.
Well, that's
you don't make those excuses.
It's easier to make an excuse. I have a hangnail.
Yeah. So with those things, but that was a recurring theme, and I really embraced that. I really enjoyed listening to that.
No, and that was a recurring theme with those three, and then the Pigman. You can see how this team is well-rounded in all aspects. Because then we had Tim on with Rush Outdoors, and we talked about his season that he's starting and upcoming. And you know what? He got hurt.
Absolutely.
You know, he hurt something in his back. He was sitting here in pain.
Yep.
And it's like, he knew he shouldn't have done it, but he did.
Right.
He should have asked for help.
Right.
Didn't. So, you know, it's gotta treat the vehicle nice.
That's right. So you guys are going to listen to those drops. They're going to be coming up. Make sure you listen to them. And you know what? My challenge to everybody out there, 2020, start doing something different this year that's going to change your life. You know, whether it's eating better, whether it's exercising, getting out, taking a walk, whatever. We want to put that challenge out to you guys. It's changed our lives, and we're going to continue. That's all I can say.
New decade, new body.
Absolutely.
Challenge accepted.
Well, we got the power bill paid.
We'll hold
One
it
that
to
needs
it.
to do
We
it.
got the light
We'll
back
hold
on.
it to it. How's that?
All right. I'll tell you what, we're getting the challenge right now.
You know
Our
what,
lights are starting to drop, so we're going to take a break. We're going to plug in a lot this weekend. And
it's been nice.
had to stop down a little bit, recharge, but we got the lights back on, paid our power bill. But we want to, last segment of the show, we wanted to say for what's sometimes considered one of the perks or one of the fun things that we get to do while we're here, and that's go to the Badlands Film Festival. And I tell you what, it was another fun night.
You know what? We've been to them. Every year we come, but Ken hasn't.
That's right. So
what's your
first,
take on the Badlands? First of all, I'm not gonna lie, we got there as raining. That was fun, right?
Yep.
Getting out in the rain.
Yep. Good time.
Good time.
Warm rain.
What do you think about getting going through a metal detector to go and watch a film festival?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in, right?
Rednecks and beer.
Right.
Not gonna lie. So, what did you think?
Honestly, it was worth the whole trip, the gas money, the food, the parking, the hotel fee. Going to that was worth the price of admission for me. That's how much I liked it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know, what did you think about the short films? Kind of the messages that there was no single theme to the whole concept. It was everybody had their little different takes.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it so special, right? I mean, there was a lot. They were all different, obviously, but there was. You know, it was important to show the different points of view, but you know, there was a lot of father-son stuff, a lot of family-orientated movies. That's what a lot of them were. What I noticed, or close friendships, and I really enjoyed it. I think it. I know they're all different. Each year it's different, but for this year, really seeing these films. What I'm trying to say is really put things in perspective for me. Okay, you know, sometimes hunting becomes work. And it shouldn't be. Sometimes fishing becomes work, and it shouldn't be. And, you know, I shot that giant buck. I didn't recover it. You know, I don't talk about it a lot, but that still eats me alive every single day. It still haunts me. I get down, I'm gonna use a crossbow from now on. I'm done with it. I'm tired, you know.
Right.
Am I ever gonna, you know, you start feeling sorry for yourself.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
And watching those videos kind of woke me up a little bit. Said, you know what? This is what it's about.
Yeah, well, and there was some films there that showed people actually missing.
Right.
That's part of it, you know. It's just something that is part of hunting. And if you say, well, I've never missed a buck or not recovered one, bull.
I always hit them right behind the shoulder for a target shot every time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But,
you get a lot of that.
You know, the films were, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, having a 3-year-old boy, you know, obviously the family stuff touched me a lot.
Mm-hmm. The one I think it was called Dad, right?
Yeah.
He was writing a letter to his son. The story.
That was my favorite one, the long versions. And
it actually won.
It did win. Yep. And I voted for it. And it was great. I can't wait to go back and watch all the old ones on YouTube. I'm a huge consumer of hunting media anyway. Right. I watch all the shows, all the YouTube channels, you know, different podcasts. I love consuming all that, and now I just found another thing to go home and
take up more of your time, right?
through tonight when I'm just sitting around recovering.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Dan?
I tell you what, Badlands did it again. The films, I tell you what, every year I like to see the multiple themes that are coming out. Like Tag and Bragg did a great one with a 15-year-old kid getting to that point where he can get out and do his hunting. The other one was about missing. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, the one about the military separation or the one taking his father out for the elk.
hang on. Let's just.
So he's gonna step out right there, and he's gonna fix this light right here.
I'm gonna pay the power bill.
He's got to pay the power bill because the light's blinking.
I think it's telling us we need to wrap up and go home.
Right.
You know, you're right. I think it is.
It's sending us a message.
You know,
leave.
Go home. It's right there.
I get it.
Yep. You know, and you know, like we talked about.
Yeah.
With the show like the Badlands, seeing all the sponsors getting involved, it's off-site, it's at a theater across town.
Yeah.
And you see things that happen there from sponsors to the movies themselves and what the people do. You know that what went into those productions was something just wasn't off the wall.
No, it wasn't, and it's amateur stuff, but it was very well made. And you know, just another thing, not even related to what I found cool about that, not really even related to the films, is we were there with probably 1,000 other hunters. And I don't know about you, but I got a big grin on my face every time they cheered when the kill shot happened.
Oh, that's one of the best parts. Yeah.
I mean, it was great, right?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Where else do you see that, right?
It was like a football game when somebody scored a touchdown.
Or when they missed, the whole crowd was, you know, and
well, the
that was so cool, you know?
I think it was called Chance. Missing the first time, but getting the second chance.
Yes.
And either way, it was
the crowd reactions were, it was great.
What did you think about the Badlands?
Well, reflecting back on what you guys just said about the cheering or that's like, football, basketball, baseball, whatever, those big moments, whether it's in agony or whether it's the hero. I think that's the one thing that ties us all together in the outdoorsman world, whether it's hunting, trapping, fishing, whatever, is those agony moments like you and I have had this year about missing a buck or hitting one and not get whatever, or those moments when we do connect and we get to bring game home, put it on that table.
Yep.
It's powerful, it's emotional, it's raw, and I think that's what I enjoy about Badlands. I mean, there's some of those films, they catch me for a moment. I had this visceral feeling.
Yes.
Almost you shed a tear.
Right.
In some moments.
Several times.
It's powerful, and imagery for me is huge. I guess that's why we do what we do here. I'm drawn to those types of things.
And you really, I don't know, I really felt the electricity in the air there last night. There was a real connection, camaraderie. I mean, it was all there. Really, I mean, we're talking about it. You have to be there to really experience it.
But you really do. You really got to get tickets.
But it's undescribable. I feel so, like, I'm not trying to nerd out on it, but it was just, I've never been a part of something like that before, and it's really cool.
Well, and you're sitting in that theater, and just the impact music, the high energy impact music,
that too.
it drives so hard, you feel it, and it just shakes you.
I felt it in the chest.
Well, you shook the whole entire building, so
right.
You felt it.
So, and that's part of it. I mean, if you don't get shook when you shoot something afterwards, whether it's that moment when you give that fist pump or
why are you doing it?
Yeah, what are we here for,
Right.
Yep, exactly. And that's the way it is. And love going to Badlands.
Absolutely. And seeing a bunch of hunters in camo in a pristine, what I call almost Roman type architecture theater, and there's a few drinks flowing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, a few hats or shirts come flying into the crowd and watching people dive.
How about the guy that checked the trail camera into
Okay, so probably
can we tell that story real quick?
He's probably not going to be the runner again, because when you throw a trail camera of 15, 20 rows?
Yeah, and crack somebody.
Oh, that didn't go over well.
So, but there's just some of the fun moments we've had here, and being a part of ATA again this year, being a part of PSC, being able to sit in their booth, being part of this team with PSC, and seeing the people, like the friendships we've made with Pedro Dampora, seeing him again, Tim Andrews from Rush Outdoors, and being able to now have team members on.
Not gonna lie, you got to interview basically your idol of filming.
Yeah, Donnie Vincent. I followed his films here for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's made me think more critically of how we do things here with the camera at times. Even the physical side of things now that Danny and I are trying to go through, that you're going to, the challenge now for you.
The challenge for the next year is for Ken to get to the gym.
So with those things and watching these guys and the passion they have for what they do, and me with my job and what I do, and bringing this stuff now to all of y'all and a visual medium is to sit down and talk with him. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Right? I got to say, it was pretty cool.
And that was unplanned.
Yeah.
Bobby and I kind of made sure that it was going to happen no matter what. So that's kind of cool.
You know, and the thing about it, these guys are on time schedule.
Yeah.
They've got places to go, things to do, and the first day it didn't happen. And he made time that next morning, make sure to come back first thing, sit down, take time with us. And he goes, all these guys, how long is it going to take? Yeah, we'll do 10, 15 minutes maybe. Next thing you know, they're telling a story.
It ain't going to be 10 or 15 minutes.
It's 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yep.
And they just start rolling. And you can see that passion in them and what they believe this. They believe in this so deeply because we all enjoy it. So.
Yep, absolutely.
And I hope that comes through in the interview. So, but enough of that. There's a winter storm coming in here in Michigan. Well, we're in Indiana, but it's getting ready to hit Michigan. We're trying to beat this thing, but we're going to have severe ice storm. That's why we cut the show down here today, is so we can get back home. I don't have to bring Danny up over to the house in the middle of an ice storm. We don't even know if we're going to have power. So hopefully everything is okay when we get back home. Hopefully everybody's safe that's traveling from here.
And everybody, traveling safe from here. People started leaving last night knowing where they had to go. Some people were flying out. We're flying over it, which was nice.
Right. So we're going to wrap the show up. ATA 2020 here in Indianapolis, Indiana with PSC. I want to thank Dan Yassa, the one guy that takes care of us in Michigan so much. And I want to thank Bobby Vargas, who takes care of us when we're here at ATA and goes through the whole lineup with us. And I want to thank Pete Shepley for making great bows and having a great company and having such great employees who support us and believe in what we do. Because without them, we wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here.
So we want to thank all of y'all for watching from Indianapolis, Indiana, ATA 2020. That'll do it for us this week, folks. We'll be back again next week.
And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on GoodTalkRadio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSC Archery,
Spot Shooters Archery,
Easy Cut,
Packer Max,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Scent Lock,
Scent Blocker,
Lim Walker Game Calls,
Buck Baits,
Gut Check,
Stanislawski Release Aids,
Copper John,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Vapor Hunting Products,
and Rebel 6 Rubs.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe until next week on the Up North Journal.